Hey, John, it's great. Thank you for adjusting your schedule. We do appreciate it talking Niner football. How are you this Tuesday morning, John? Welcome back.
Hey, morning, John.
What's up, Murph, Markus? How you guys doing? Doing well. These Thursday games always leave you wondering what day it is because, like, today's a combo Wednesday, Thursday for us. So, it's still, I guess, Wednesday till about noon, and then it will be Thursday, and so we're kind of all scrambled.
What a mess.
That's what these Thursday games do to you. And who handles it best goes a long way towards the deciding the outcome of the game.
That's very, very true. Just quickly, what is your guys' schedule? I mean, you said half day, like Wednesday becomes Thursday today. And then are you guys wheels up tomorrow? Like, how crammed is this?
Yeah, we will be wheels up tomorrow. It is extremely crammed. Everybody handles it a little different. We give our players off yesterday. Now, when I say off, I think 50 of them came in yesterday. To get body maintenance, to work out, to move around, which is important. Really stress a lot of sleep. They allow the guys to sleep a little longer on these days because as part of the recovery, that's critical. So you harp on everything that goes along with recovery on a short week, and it's we always talk about football players are very, very much creatures of habit, and this obviously takes you out of your habit. It's a different deal, but again, I think it very much becomes a mindset who can kind of embrace the challenge of the short week.
You're listening to KBR AM and KBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. So I know we're already thinking about the Rams on Thursday, but I guess before we do, just your takeaway from Sunday. When John Lynch leaves Levi's Stadium on Sunday, puts his head on the pillow eventually Sunday night, probably a little ticked off. What was your main takeaway from that game for your team going forward?
Well, it wasn't good enough. I think that was the main takeaway, and somewhat surprised. It just didn't. It didn't feel like us. There were a lot of uncharacteristic things in that game, and you just got to make sure that one of those games doesn't become two, and so you address it, and that is a challenge on we're not a team. A lot of teams, if you have a loss, like, hey, let's file that away. We're not going to look at it. We look at everything. We think everything's a growth opportunity. On a short week, you really don't have an opportunity. Now, when I say you don't have an opportunity, coaches watch it, players probably watch it on their own. We don't come together and watch it, and so it's important that we find the right takeaways from that game. What ailed us? They're pretty obvious when you don't protect the football, and conversely you're not taking it away. So I think if you're looking for positives, the fact that we were -4 in the turnover margin and had the ball with like three and a half minutes with an opportunity to go win that game, that's pretty remarkable. You're doing some things right if you're doing that. And, our defense has shown an ability when the game's on the line to get the ball back for us. And we did that yet again. And unfortunately, we couldn't pay it off. We had another turnover that ended the game. So just some uncharacteristic things. And we're going up against a very good Rams team at their place. And, to beat them, we're going to have to play much better.
John, we saw Brock Purdy back on the field this weekend. What was your evaluation of his performance? And do you guys maybe have the feeling that the toe injury maybe affected his performance on the field?
Well, it was great to have Brock back, first of all. And I think it's important to note this isn't something like back in the day, like Brett Favre wouldn't practice all week and then he'd step in and he'd go play. That wasn't this. Brock practiced all week, really showed no ill effects. Now, we all know playing in the game is different than practice. Practice, people stay away from the quarterback. And I think at one point during the game in the second quarter, he was scrambling, and I think that maybe is the opportunity. As I watch the film, I haven't talked to Brock yet, where maybe he felt that a little bit during the game. He's such a tough guy. I don't think he mentioned it to anyone. He played throughout the game. After the game, I think, as Kyle noted, he was a little sore, and so we'll see where that goes this week.
Yeah. Kyle did mention yesterday that he was dealing with soreness, but are you guys taking the steps to maybe do any MRI or imaging to see if he possibly re-aggravated the injury?
Yeah, we always look into everything for all of our players, so we will take every precaution to make sure that Brock's all right. I think he is. Now it's just a matter, can he turn it around on a short week?
I mean, just not to keep pressing it because it's only Tuesday and you probably won't know till Thursday. Is it fair to say it's going to be up until game time, you think?
Yeah, I think he's listed as questionable, and I think it's a true reflection of where he's at right now.
And catching up on Mac Jones, we weren't totally sure what his status was going into that game. What's the latest with his knee sprain?
Mac's doing well. He's Mac's been really good for us in every respect, and the way he's kind of going about his rehab with the knee situation that he's been dealing with has been no different. He's tireless in his work, and so I think Mac's in a good spot to back up or play if need be.
John, can you give us an update on Ricky Pearsall's status for this week, possibly?
Yeah, we all saw Ricky get banged up during that game. Ricky's listed as questionable. On this short week, like I said, players were in here for rehab and all that, got evaluated, but I think he's listed as questionable too. So we'll see how far he can get on the short week and see if he can get out there. I know Ricky's dying to be out there. He's playing such good football for us. It's really proud of the young man for the way he's handled everything, and he's playing at a high level.
All right, John Lynch, of course, joins us every Thursday, but today's Tuesday because Thursday's a game, if that makes sense. Anyway, he's with us. We appreciate him. On the UMA guest line, of course, the 49ers president of football operations and general manager. So many different storylines, always with an NFL team and with you guys. And last week, our big storyline was you guys don't have Nick Bosa for the rest of the year, and, man, you lamented it. We all lamented it. Then you guys went out defensively, and I think if you look at certain aspects of this defense performance, there was a lot of positive things. The one thing that stuck out, though, is that there was no quarterbacks hits or sacks. And the first time, I guess, the 49er D-line hasn't hit a quarterback since 2015. So I don't know, John, your evaluation, you said you're going to wait and see what we have. What did you think of the pass rush without Nick Bosa?
Well, you have to hit the quarterback in this league to force them to put the ball in harm's way. And, that's something we pride ourselves on. Now, I'll tell you that coming into that game, Jacksonville got rid of the football when passing faster than anybody in the league. It was, that was something we noted, and, it's just the way they're playing offense. They're running the football well, kind of playing that RPO game, and just the ball's out of Trevor Lawrence's hand right away. And so it was no different this week. Having said that, we got to find a way to put the quarterback under duress. That's the key to defensive football, to make the quarterback uncomfortable. I don't think we did a good enough job of that. And so we go back to the drawing board, and we got to find ways. We got to beat the people in front of us, and we got to find ways to make the quarterback uncomfortable, particularly with Matt Stafford. He's such a good player, playing at such a high level, has a lot of weapons at his disposal. Any quarterback, especially the best guys in the league, you got to make them uncomfortable. You got to hit them to let them know you're there and make them uncomfortable.
No sacks and no turnovers this weekend against Jacksonville, but Upton Stout came pretty damn close with a potential interception that was taken off the board due to a PA call against Travis Hunter. John, I got to get your breakdown as a former safety. Your thoughts on that call?
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. I didn't like it. I thought it was a game-changing play. Upton is, I think everyone can see it. He's just an incredible competitor. And I thought that play was no different. He made a big play at a big moment for us, and the ref saw something that I'm having a hard time seeing. So,
boy, that's the frustrating part of the game for sure, as are the turnovers, in general. I mean, Brock threw 2 interceptions, got stripped by Eric Armstead, Luke Farrell turned one over. How do you view turnovers like that in general? I mean, you guys had been pretty good the first 3 games. Do you sometimes see those as random, or do you see that as something that can be coached better on Thursday?
Oh, absolutely. They can be coached better, and it's ball security. It's I've told you guys before, we dedicate a half-hour meeting every week to, it's called the ball meeting, and we talk about protecting the ball. We talk about taking it away. We show video clips of around the league. People are getting so adept at the people term it the peanut punch after Peanut Tillman. a cornerback with the Chicago Bears who made it really an art. Back when I played, it was the first guy secured the tackle, and then the other guys, the second, third, they said, okay, you can go after the ball, but everybody was so intent. I think analytics and things talked about, how consequential protecting the ball and taking it away are. And so maybe the game's shifted a lot. You'll see a lot of times, I think it was Gardeck who came in there on Luke Farrell and did what we so often see Fred Warner do so effectively. And so to do that, it's ball security. It's high and tight. It's clasping the offhand. Now Luke, in his instance, was fighting off the one defender who was at his left before Gardeck, so he didn't have an opportunity to get two hands. And you have to continue to emphasize it. And you saw we had our hands on a couple of balls. I think it's one thing, you look at the end result, of course, because there's such a correlation between winning and losing if you win the turnover battle. I think what I look at is, are we when the quarterback's throwing the football, we call it ball out break? Are people's eyes on the quarterback? Are they breaking? Yes, we're doing that. Are we hitting the quarterback? We didn't do enough of that. That leads to turnovers. And then are we catching it when it's thrown to us? And I think we saw a couple opportunities where the ball was up in the air and we didn't catch it. They did. So, we have to change that. We have to get better at that. No better time than this Thursday.
49ers GM and President of Football Operations John Lynch is a voice you hear this morning on the Uma Guest Line. And John, flipping back to the offensive side of the ball, I think a lot of 49er fans are shocked when they see the stat that the team does not have a rushing touchdown yet this season. When you look at overall team rankings, you guys are 28th in the league, averaging 88 yards per game. Do you think maybe that's a lack of execution by the offense, or do you think it's more the way that defenses are playing you guys in the first 4 games of the season?
I think a combination of both. We're very, skilled at running the football. We coach it well. We typically execute it very well. I think we obviously have one of the best players in football as our number one running back in Christian. There's a lot of reasons why we're typically good at it. There's some schematic things that people are kind of bottling us up, and we got to find a way to work through that. And kind of like turnovers, I think like things like that come in bunches, and our explosives just haven't been at the rate we're accustomed to doing it. Probably too many 2-3 yard gains where we're used to 5, 6, or 7. And I think you continue to do things right, continue to strain, continue to clean up things schematically. We'll get put in good positions, and I really believe that it will come. It doesn't just happen, but I watch the way we work each week, and we've got a lot of capable people doing it. So we got to continue to do the things that we know lead to success in the running game, and we won't deviate from that. It's too important to who we are, our DNA, and we got to get better at it.
John, before we let you go, we can't not talk about what happened with Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh. And I want to go all the way back to last Thursday. After we talked to you, Saleh did his press conference and threw out there, the Jags do a really good job of picking up signs. He used the phrase sign stealing. Then he said it was legal. We were like, oh, that's interesting. It's a little peek behind the curtain, right? And so let's start there. When you heard Saleh bring that up last Thursday, did you have a reaction back then?
I think, in talking with Robert, he truly meant it as a compliment. They're very adept at listening to the TV copy, hearing the language we speak on defense. And so I think Saleh was trying to, we know that and almost, just putting them on notice that we know, and, we might make some requisite changes. I think when he said sign stealing, that probably irritated them a little. I didn't think it would irritate them that much. I think, he's a first-year head coach. They're a team that's playing really well and playing with a lot of pride. They kind of seems like they used it as a little bit of a battle cry, and I don't think it affected the outcome of the game. Little dust up after the game, just words. I'm sure those guys will be fine. And I think we move forward. Things like that happen a lot. In today's world, things like that probably get caught a lot more often than they used to. And everyone's good. We move forward.
That was going to be my follow-up is, in any number of, I don't have your number of NFL games in front of me. It's a lot. How many times would you see post-game beef?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot, And it's, like I said, in the day and age of cameras and cell phones and all that, I think things, you probably have to know that, understand that. That's a hard deal because emotions are running hot. Typically, it's very cordial out there. It's, hey, man, hard-fought game. There's a lot of respect, and I know that Robert respects Liam. I know in turn that Liam respects Robert. I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll laugh about it at some point, but they're little colorful exchange there.
John, my question is, how often were you as a player trying to decode or steal signs? Because I remember seeing Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage calling out audibles and controlling the offense. Like, you would think that everybody on the defense is trying to decode what the quarterback is saying.
You know what, though? You're always trying to decode, and you're looking at, I'm watching film right now in my office. I'm not watching it as we speak, but it's frozen, and I'm looking at the right guard on Carolina. I don't know why they're up there, but, he's in a pass set, so that's pre-snap. So, it's likely. So it can be as little as that. But I know that in my career, I'll never forget, I was playing for Mike Shanahan, and we're playing in the playoffs against the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning, and that typically hadn't gone in the recent history when I arrived there with Champ Bailey. In large part, we were brought in to get over the hurdle of the Colts. The Colts were killing the Broncos in the playoffs, and so it was a big deal for Mike, for us, and we're in the playoffs again. And Mike Shanahan had talked to Jeff Fisher, who's a division rival of the Indianapolis Colts, and all the language that Peyton uses, but Jeff Fisher said, hey, the one thing, you remember the old stretch, the outside zone where Peyton would stick the ball out. No one knew whether it was a run to Edgerrin James or is he going to pull it, throw a post to Reggie Wayne or Marvin Harrison. Well, Mike Shanahan says, hey, John, I got it on good authority from Jeff Fisher, who plays these guys twice a year. Anytime Peyton says apple, any form of apple, it's going to be a run. And so here we are in the first play of the game, apple, and I'm listening to my head coach, Mike Shanahan, who heard it from Jeff Fisher. Who knows? It's 100% absolute. Well, I learned a good lesson that day because he said apple, and he was throwing a post, and I was about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage, and thank God it was a long foul ball. And I looked at Mike Shanahan, and the first time he probably ever saw my 47 red, I said, Mike, don't ever tell me something like that again. We got away with it this time, and it was a great lesson in year 13 for me that you don't do that. You trust your keys. So you can. Yes, there is some of that gamesmanship, but typically you put yourself in a disadvantage when you're trying to find too much of that stuff. You just got to play ball.
Jeff Fisher was a double agent. He was working against you.
He was.
All right, we ended with
Peyton Manning was pretty astute, so he probably knew that.
He knew you. He knew that you knew that you knew that he knew that all that stuff. And then finally, we got to end it with the Rams, man. I mean, does this get the juices? Okay, I mean, there's two parts to the Ram rivalry. Kyle had long run of dominance over Sean McVay. Then there was the NFC Championship, which is unfortunate. We could parse that out. And then the last year, they got you guys twice on really close games. And it's this incredible familiarity. Just this incredible familiarity. And there's a lot at stake in this game. So for you, if you know them so well and they know you so well, sort of dovetailing off what you just said about Peyton Manning, is somebody going to put a wrinkle in this week? Or is it just going to be a street fight and who's the last man standing?
Especially on a short week. I don't think this week is a whole lot, about wrinkles and trickery. I think this is execution. Who's going to block? Who's going to protect the football? Who's going to take away the football? Who's going to hit the quarterback? Who's going to bring down the quarterback? Who's going to make the plays in the big moments? I think that's what this will come down to. There'll be, fabulous players on both sides. I'm sure we'll see plenty of Niner fans down there that are home away from home, and we gotta make it loud, and we gotta make that. There's nothing like seeing them go silent count in their own stadium, and we got to make that the case. But we got to go play winning football, and find a way to beat a really good Rams football team. These guys are a good football team.
Yeah, with lots of questions about health, Pearsall, Purdy, you name it. So lots to unfold on Thursday, John. We always appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy, and thanks for switching days. We'll give you a long stretch off. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Enjoy that trip to L.A., and hope you guys come away with a dub.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Sounds good, fellas. Thank you.